Hi everyone and welcome back to your mat. So this is our last video for the month of January and I wanted to end us off with some yummy hamstring and hip stretches for our practice. This is a class that's great to come back to time and time again, especially after a long day of sitting or a long day of just any sort of long day. It's a yummy flow and it's designed to help you kind of unwind all that's been carried in the hips and the hamstrings and the back. Okay, so for this practice, you'll need 2 blocks and perhaps a strap or some pillows if you have a sensitive knee, and we will meet back here on the mat. So we'll start our practice lying on our backs for today. Start by laying your entire back nice and long and flat. So press into the back of your head and your hips, lift your shoulders and slide them flush down, and then lift your tailbone and slide your low back long onto the mat. Step your feet to the corners of your mat and just let both knees knock into center, just feeling your tailbone grounded and supported by the floor. Close your eyes. Relax all facial features. Relax and broaden at the temples. Even open your nose so that you can increase the awareness of your breath and the sensations that come with it. Feeling the breath entering in through the nostrils. And as you exhale, sending the breath up through the roof of the mouth, down, out the nose again. Take a couple of deep breaths, just noticing how the breath is moving. And try your best to keep your eyes closed. Keep the eyes soft and relaxed and your inner gaze to the space between your eyebrows, your third eye center. And every time you step onto your mat to take this class, coming here first to this space to let go of anything that was in your day, in your week, in your body, in your mind. As you come onto the space of your mat for this practice, entering your practice with this presence, no expectation, just space. Open for whatever your practice delivers. Take another full inhale in. And open your mouth, exhale out. You can keep your eyes softly closed or start to blink them open. Just circle your knees into your chest, hug your knees in, and rock a little side to side. Make this feel nice. You might even make some circles, massaging along the space of your spine, kind of feeling and checking in for how your back feels today. So as we go through this class with forward folding, hip stretches, and hamstring stretches, you really want to stay connected to how your back feels the entire class. Take your circles in the other direction. And the idea of these forward folds and hip stretches is that we always want to find an extension in our spine. That means a back bend. So if you remember from the secret to asana, finding your cow tilt or your back bend in every forward fold. So just keep that in mind. I'll talk more as we go. Hug your knees into your chest. Take your happy baby hands to the outside edges of your feet. And since it's still early, your tailbone might be lifted. That's okay. You might start to press your tailbone down as you begin to wake up the back, wake up your hips. Especially this early into class, force nothing, let it feel sweet, right? Take the soles of your feet together, hands around the outside edges of your feet, and plug the arches of your feet down towards your heart. Your tailbone might lift a little. That's okay. Don't fight it. Just feel stretch in your low back. Make it soft. Make it gentle. And then eventually we'll release our feet down, keeping that same position, butterflying your knees open, taking your Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined on the floor. Make lobster claws and take your thumbs to the front and the forefingers to the back of your thighs, and then just gently traction away, lengthening your spine. Very gentle here, not really pushing too much, just very little weight to give a little bit more space in the vertebral discs. Can't talk. And then slowly step your feet back down. Keep your left foot down, hug your right knee into your chest, and take a half happy baby. Right hand to the outside edge of your right foot, plug your right knee down towards the floor, and open out your right hip. This time try and keep both hip points down to the mat. Slight arch in your low back, think cow tilt in the low back. Now straighten your right leg up to the ceiling. If you have tight hamstrings, take the hands underneath the right thigh. Keep a bend in your right knee. Keep your tailbone down. Keep both hip points down. If you want, you can use the strap. You can use the hands to take yourself around the ball of your foot and straighten your leg a little bit more. Activate your right quadricep. You might even take left fingers to see if it's activating. Squeeze your quads. And then pull your thigh a little closer towards your chest, using the strength of your right quad. Flex your right foot and feel for the calf to wake up. Then as you start to warm up, you might extend your left leg longer. Maybe even the thigh will come down to the floor. What you really want to avoid is compensating. So if your hips start to lift, just bend the knee. Better to have proper form than to compensate form for the aesthetics of a pose. Relax your shoulders into the mat. Relax your neck. Relax your jaw. And then take a breath in. As you exhale, lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Reach your arms forward. Keep your right thigh pressing towards your chest. Really strong, active right leg. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Bend your right knee into your chest. Send your left leg long on the floor and take a little twist. Draw the knee across the body. Cactusing your right arm. Look to your right. Take a breath in. And breathe out. Come on back to center. Roll your knee into your chest. And switch sides. So left foot will step in, will hug in, right foot will step down. Half happy baby, hands to the inside of your left foot. Left hand inside of your left foot. Plug your left knee down towards the left armpit and keep both hip points grounded to the mat. And notice the difference between both sides. So one side might feel different. It might feel a little bit tighter. And let go of any labels saying, oh, you're my bad side, you're my tight side, you're the side that sucks, right? Really notice the thoughts that come through your mind while you practice and accept it and then let it go. So recognize the thoughts and then detach from them. So my left side feels different, yes. It's illuminating something that my left hip maybe needs a little bit more love. When you come back to center, hands behind your left hamstring, ground the hip bones, straighten your left leg up to the ceiling. Again, you can use a strap or the fingers around the ball of the foot. Micro bend in the left knee is great, especially if you're tight and we're just starting, we're just warming up. Ground both hip points and flex your left foot. I'm looking more for the flexing in the foot than the straightening of your leg. And press your hips down. As your muscles start to wake up a little bit, you might straighten your right leg out. You might even flex your foot, ground both hips, press the thigh down. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. Breathe deep into the hamstring or to wherever you feel it. Maybe the hip, the back, the calf, the toes. Lift your shoulders off the mat. Reach your arms forward, active in the core, active in your left leg, engaging left quadricep to squeeze, to lift your thigh closer to your chest, holding it there. For 3, lift higher. For 2, inhale and lay down. Bend your knee into your chest. For 1, taking our supine twist, knee draws across the body, cactus in your left arm and gazing to your left. Breathing into your left sideways, inhale. Revolving to look to your left, exhale. Roll yourself back to center, hug both knees into your chest. Rock up and down your spine. You'll gain enough momentum to roll into your tabletop. Sending your knees back behind you. Just take a child's pose, knees wide, arms forward. Again, use this pose to check in. Relax the forehead down to the mat. Let your neck be long. Take your right hand to the nape of your neck and just give yourself a nice little neck massage. The body opens up when our minds say, okay, feels good, open up. When your brains give your body the okay to become flexible, that's when flexibility happens. So always checking in with yourself. If you're finding grip, finding tension, just use your hands, use your mind, anything, use your breath to remind yourself that, hey, it's okay, it's good. Slowly roll forward into your tabletop, stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Few rounds of your cat-cows. As you inhale, arch your spine, lift the chin, lift your chest, lift your tail. And then as you exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest, scoop your tailbone under, push the floor away. Inhale, like you're trying to drag your wrist back, lift your chest through. And exhale to push the floor away, round your spine. 2 more rounds. Inhaling, arch, active arms, lift the chest. Exhaling, round. Active arms, tuck chin to chest. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Now keep your tailbone tucked, just look forward. You can walk your hands forward if you're close to the wall, but extend your left leg. So I'm keeping my tailbone tucked here, and I'm using my core to keep this tucked. Keep your tailbone tucked. Lift your left leg up. Oh, fight the urge to arch it. Only when you can't tuck anymore, then start to arch, look up. Now to lower, tuck your tailbone underneath you, engage the core to lower your left toes. Let's do 4 more times. Keep it tucked, inhale to lift, tuck, tuck, tuck the hips. Now exhale to open, lift, inhale. Exhale, tuck, 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 tuck to lower it down. 2 more, 3 more, I lied. Inhale, lift, keep it tucked, only at the bottom, open, and then exhale, tuck, 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 tuck to lower it down. Lift it up. Tuck it under. You should feel your core working here along with the back leg. Inhale, keep it tucked, tuck, tuck. Now open. And exhale, tuck, 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 tuck. Lower it down. Good. Take your left leg to your left. Come up to your left fingertips. Keep your right butt cheek hugging in. Lift your left leg. Lower it down. Inhale to lift. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Lift it up. Hold it up there. Pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Relax it back. Child's pose. Inhale, roll forward to your tabletop. This time, flip your wrists around as best as you can to face your knees. You can tuck your back toes, soften your elbows, and start to lift, sit back, stretching your wrists. So you don't have to go very far back if you already feel it. Just go to where it feels like a nice stretch. To deepen, you can bend your elbows. Come on back. Let's take the back of our hands down to the mat, fingertips facing one another, and straighten your elbows round your spine. Shift to the right, and shift to your left. Back to your right, and back to your left. Come on back to center. Fingertips flat, other side. Right leg extends back. Scoop your tailbone under, keep it tucked. Squeeze your right butt cheek, straighten your right leg as best as you can. Keep it tucked, inhale to lift, and then exhale to open. Inhale. Exhale to tuck to lower. That's one, leaves 4 more. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Do your best to keep the right leg straight and the hips tucked, lift it up. Open it out. Exhale, tuck it under. Lower it down. So the hips will open when you start to arch it more. That's okay. We're creating this heat to fight for it. Tuck the hips under. Let's lift. And open. Tuck. And down. I think that leaves 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Tuck. And lower. Oh, take your right leg out, spin your knee to face up, come to your right fingertips. Inhale to lift it up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, exhale, lift up, 4, exhale down. Lift it up, hold it up there, pulse 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, child's pose. Maybe knees together. Okay, really nice. From your child's pose, let's take our downward facing dog. Come forward, tuck your back toes, arch, cow tilt your low back, and then push the floor away, lengthen back. Ears are between the biceps. You might pedal at your feet, finding the length of your down dog. Eventually find a little stillness. Push the floor away, ears between the biceps. Look to your navel center. Breathe in. And breathe out. Left foot steps to the middle of the mat, or just more center. Right leg will lift up. Inhale, down dog split. Now bend your knee and stack your hips. For a moment, open your right side waist. Look underneath your right shoulder and feel stretch in the right side waist. Now, press your right shoulder down, lift your left shoulder high, look underneath your left side waist. Lift high to your left tippy toes. Keep pointing your right knee up towards the ceiling. Bend your left knee. Move your left knee to your left as you peel the right knee up and back. Inhale, center, lift the right leg, and then exhale, right knee to your right tricep. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. You can lower the knee and wiggle your foot forward if you need to. Take your 2 blocks on the highest setting inside of your right ankle. Right foot is to the right edge of the mat. Forearms come down to the blocks. Left forearm down, right forearm down. Tuck the back toes and lift your left knee. Now hug your right knee into your right tricep, right shoulder, and press your hips down towards the floor. You'll feel stretch in the back of this front thigh. Lift your chest, look forward, holding for 3. Hug right thigh to right shoulder for 2. Inhale. Left knee returns down to the floor for 1. So you can keep your forearms on the blocks on the highest setting for your lizard lunge. This is great. Or you can take different heights of the blocks, right? There's medium, there's a low height. And if you are feeling pretty good, you can even remove the blocks to come all the way down to the floor. The tendency here, most hip and forward folds, is really the back wants to round like this. Try to see if you can extend your tailbone into a cow tilt, into an arch, as you lift your chest forward, so that you have the back bend in your rounding fold. If you're feeling good, you can even lift the inner arch of your right foot. Can you see what I'm doing? So the inner arch of the foot is lifting, my right knee is pressing down to the floor, and then I can take my forearms back down. Maybe the forearms can walk forward, and you might even take a block. This time it goes underneath your chest so that the arms can straighten forward as you stretch and let go. Now this is a very deep variation, so if it's too much, stay on the blocks with the forearms. It's okay to try new things, but always assessing for boundaries to stay safe. And your breath is a really good cue for that, so if you feel like you can't breathe, you're probably a little bit too deep. Come on back a little. Come on back to your hands. Shorten your stance. Left hand, walk it a little wider. Right hand to the inner right thigh. Press the thigh open. Look back past your right shoulder. You'll take a little twist. And then maybe the hand will come to the outside of your left thigh. You might even bend your left knee. Right hand to your left ankle or shin. And maybe pull your shin in. Maybe the foot will hook into the elbow pit and you'll look back. Lift your chest. Feel like your shoulder blades are moving forward to lift your heart as you look back. For 3. For 2. And slowly release for 1. Right hand returns back down to the floor. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, hug your right thigh into your shoulder. Fingers forward, step your left foot wide. Feet at the edges of your mat, bend your knees deep. Fingertips reach out in front of you. Now, cow tilt, arch your spine. Fingers can stay down, lift your chest, squeeze your shoulder blades back. Start to sit a little lower as you do so. Your arms might come in front of you. Maybe you'll hook the thumbs, take biceps over the ears, behind the ears. Keep arching your spine. Forward fold, hands come down. Straightening your legs as best as you can or bending the knees softly. Inhale, flat back. You can even use blocks. Lengthen, find the cow tilt, arch your spine. None of this. This doesn't do it. Bend your knees, lift the tail, open the chest, and then exhale, forward fold down. Lengthen your spine, inhale, flat back, look forward, and then exhale, just step it back to your downward facing dog, walk it out, pedal out your feet. Other side, left leg is going to lift. Inhale for down dog split and bend the knees, stack your hips. Take a little twist, look underneath your left armpit, stretching more in the left side body. Then reverse it. Press your left shoulder down, lift your right armpit up. Look underneath the right armpit. Lift your right tippy toes, point the left knee up to the ceiling, bend your right knee. Right knee moves to the right, left knee peels up more. Straighten your legs, inhale, square the hips, and then exhale, left knee to your left tricep. Step your left foot forward outside of your left hand. If you need to adjust it, do so. Right knee will lower down to start. Forearms to blocks on the highest setting, or just stay on your hands. Hug your left knee against your left shoulder. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Straighten through the right leg, then press your hips down, cow tilt, arch your spine. Press your left thigh against your left shoulder, left tricep. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale. And exhale, right knee will tap down to the mat, taking your lizard lunge. Forearms can go down to the blocks. And then finding, again, your cow tilt, moo, the arch. If you did deepen it, you can, of course, always deepen it as your body starts to open up a little bit more. Left inner arch can open. Always finding that cow tilt, the arch. Maybe even block underneath your chest. Arms can reach forward and you can fold. Slowly walk yourself back up. Shorten your stance. Right hand will stay down on the floor. Left hand, inner left thigh. Peel the left thigh open. Look to your left. And as an option, the left hand can come to the outside of your right thigh. Or you might even bend your right leg. Foot in, hand to the shin. Open your chest, look up. The foot might even slide into the crook of your elbow. Breathe in. Open chest, open shoulders, breathe out. One more breath. And slowly release it out. Come on back. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee. Fingers forward, step your right foot wide. Sit your hips down into Malasana. To modify, you can have blocks underneath your hips, sitting on them, elongating your spine, and activating your inner thighs to press outwards to lift your chest. Close your eyes. Allow your inner thighs to start to open out. So if you don't have any blocks, you're all the way down. Weight is in the heels, inner thighs are opening, long in the spine. Inhale, straighten the legs, hands down to the floor. Lengthen your spine, flat back. Hands can even go to the shins or the blocks. And then exhale, hinge and fold down. Lengthen your spine, inhale. Toe heel your feet, hips width apart, Padangustasana. Peace fingers wrap the big toes. Lengthen, flat back. Forward fold, bend your knees, connect your belly to your thighs. Let your head relax down, bend your elbows wide. So a lot of times, if this is you, really try to bend the knees first. Get the connection of belly to thigh closer. Arch your low back. And then from the bending of your knees to fold belly to your thighs. And then over time, weight into the balls of your feet, starting to straighten your legs more, but continue to press your thighs and your chest together. If your legs are all the way straight, you might squeeze your quads and engage your quadriceps to lift up on the knees. Let it go. Flat back, inhale. We'll take Padangusthasana from the back. Lift up your heels, slide your fingers underneath your feet, cupping your heels. Maybe bury your forearms behind your calves. Lengthen your spine, bend the knees, arch your tail, and then exhale, fold. Allow your weight to fall to the balls of your feet. And then as you do so, straighten your legs a little bit more by arching your spine to fold down. Release your hands. Inhale, flat back, look forward. And then exhale, we'll just step it back to a downward facing dog. Pressing your hips up and back. Ears between the biceps. Look to your navel. Lift your right leg up, inhale. Bend your knees, stack your hips, exhale. Right knee, take it outside of your right wrist. So coming in for your pigeon, the right heel can be close, but I want your right knee wide towards the right edge of your mat. Because if it's centered in between your wrists, then you have a tendency to kind of collapse onto the right hip as you fold in your pigeon. And if you're tight, while that feels more natural in the beginning, it's a little bit more damaging in terms of alignment and just that for that knee. So take your right knee wide. If you need to, if the hips don't sit down, sit on a block and fold yourself down. Or if you have the mobility, you can walk it back and fold down, doing your best to square the hips. Look at your back heel. See if it's sickling out and try and straighten it back. This helps you square your hips. Even if you have to tuck your toes to do so, that's okay. And then fold down. Block can go underneath your head. It can go underneath wherever you want support. We're here for a little while. As you start to open up more, you can even move your right foot higher to parallel the shin a little more. Tuck your back toes, lift your hips, walk your right knee back, walk your left leg back, and then re-lower yourself down for a much deeper pigeon pose. Lift up your spine, flat back, inhale. Left hand will hold the right foot, whatever variation you're in. Take your right elbow to the crook of your right foot, to the arch of the foot, and you can just stay here, twist. You can take prayer to heart center, thumbs to the center of your chest, and twist. Come on back. Walk your fingers forward. You're going to slide your left knee behind your right and sit yourself down into a seated spinal twist. If it's too much, you can always straighten that bottom leg to modify. Okay? Right hand will go behind your sacrum. Inhale, left arm up. And then exhale, try and reach forward until the armpit goes over your right thigh. Left hand, release it down to connect to your left foot. Right hand behind you. Inhale, sit up tall. And then exhale, look to your right. Try to keep both hip points grounded down to the floor. Inhale. And exhale. Back to center, inhale. For a counter twist, exhale. Right ankle on top of your left thigh for your double pigeon. You'll flex your feet. And if there's any discomfort in the knees, again, you can always put blocks underneath the knees, right? You can sit up tall and you can just stay here, or you can start to walk it down into your double pigeon. Walking it forward. Eventually, forearms can come onto blocks on the highest setting. Watch my spine. This is my tendency. If I just want to relax in it, I round. Now, arch. Find the cow tilt in the spine. Even if you have to lift up higher to do so, that's okay. This is better. My hips are really tight today, so this feels better for me. But of course, if you want to take it deeper, you can take it deeper. Forward folding all the way down. I'm going to stay here. And every day your practice will look a little bit different, especially if you're recently upping your practice and you're building new muscles. You might be sore, you might be a bit tighter. Don't hold any attachment to the different ups and downs of your journey. Just be sensitive to it, observe it. It has a purpose, it's there to teach you something. And you'll slowly come on up. So, step your left foot down into the mat and take your fingertips behind you, press your chest up. Lift your chest, flex your right foot. Sit up nice and tall and windshield wiper your legs side to side. We are going to recline our pigeon. So lay down, thread through the needle, hug in. Fingers interlace in front of your left shin, relax your shoulders into the mat. If this is good enough for you, you'll just stay, right? Or you might take your left elbow and wrap it around the arch of your foot. You might even take your right elbow, wrap it around the knee. Interlace your hands, cradling your shin into your chest. From there, you might even step your left foot down. This already will intensify the stretch. So if it's like not good, you just stay here. Try to press your hips back down to the mat. Only if your hip points are grounded down and you feel good, you're going to move on with me. My left elbow is going to come and I think this is like a boxing move where you use sucker punch or something like that. So we're just going to hook our right ankle with our left elbow. Then I'm going to lift up my head and reach my right arm behind it. I'm going to find the fingers on my left, interlace the fingers, and relax my head back down. Ooh, I really feel it. Right hip trying to press back down to the floor, but relax your head back, stretch. And then come on back. Hug your right knee into your chest, straighten up the leg. You're going to bend the knee, lift your left leg, flex your feet, rock up and down, up and down. Eventually come to a nice tall seat facing forward. I'm going to turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing, but you can just stay as you are. So I'm going to take seated tree pose. My right foot is inside of my left thigh. And to start, I want to take a side bend. So left hand to my right knee, inhale, right arm up, and then exhale, I'm just going to stretch up and over. Opening my right side waist. If I'm feeling good and my hips can stay grounded on the floor, I might reach longer with my fingers and maybe even connect the toes. From there, I spin my chest to face the ceiling, really stretching in the right side waist. And then when I come out, I exhale to lift up. And I'll face my left foot. Inhale, arms up. With a strap or just with your hands, exhale, bend your knee, connect the foot. Lift your chest, cow tilt, inhale, and then exhale, slide it out, fold down. So maybe I'll turn again so you can see it. Your left knee can stay bent for this, right? I'm connecting belly to my thigh, and then I'm keeping the connection to straighten it out as I fold. My left knee is still bent. There's still space under here. And over time, I might straighten my left leg to really fold it down. Come on up, inhale. And then we're going to roll so that we're on the long edge side of our mat into a half frog pose. So you might want some pillows underneath your right knee for this. I'm going to flex my right foot 90 degrees. And then I'm going to come on down to my forearms and slowly stretch my inner thighs. Okay. So you can take a block on medium or low setting for support as you fold down. Try to keep the sole of your left foot grounded into the mat to protect your knee, and you might even engage the inner left thigh every now and then to really keep it together. Roll forward, come on out, slide your left foot in, and face back to front. Bend your left knee, you'll find a low lunge. I'm going to use my blocks for my half split. Backing up the hips, I flex my left foot, and again I arch, I cow tilt my low back to stretch my left hamstring. Hands can be on the blocks on the highest level. I might take them down and take my forearms there, maybe even using my hands to pull the foot towards me. Now, the deeper you take it, the more the spine wants to curl into itself. Avoid it. Stretch, lift the chest. Cut your left hip back. If the hamstring is tight, come up a level. Work from here rather than compensating the pose. So over time, it'll find a little bit more stretch. If you do have a deeper split, you can, of course, take that. It took me many years of intense practice to come to a state where I let go of my ego, where I wanted the aesthetics of the pose and had to kind of relinquish that want. And then my want transitioned to wanting to work from a place of strong foundation. And from that, my practice grew much stronger and much more free. So I advise that all of you, especially since you're practicing at home and there's no one watching you, to really tap into your ego and to notice, is it ego? Can I work more from foundation? Okay, so come on up slow. Let's switch sides. Take it back into a downward facing dog and pedal out your feet. Again, finding a rounding in the upper back, your cat, and then an arching in the lower back, your cow. Right? I'm over-exaggerating the movements, but just really think I can round my upper back in a cat, and then I can separate it into a cow tilt in my lower back. Let's lift the left leg up. Inhale. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Exhale. One side already feels much more open. Take left knee to your left outer wrist. Left edge of the mat, lower your knee down. Make sure the knee is not in the middle of your mat. Walk your right leg back. Square your hips. Right knee can even stay lifted or toes can stay tucked. And then exhale to fold yourself down into your pigeon pose. If your heel is if your toes are untucked, make sure your heel is not sickling or really far out to the right or far to your left. Make sure your heel is straight in line with your right hip back behind you. And as you start to deepen, you can also take your shin a little bit more parallel. Walk your left knee back, walk your right leg back, square the hips, and then fold down. Pigeon really is such a therapeutic pose. Letting yourself tap into all of the little nooks and crannies of this pose. Close your eyes and envision the spaces that feel tight. And visualize sending your breath to those spaces. Breathe a little deeper. Notice if your mind starts to wander, asking how much longer I want to come out. Notice these thoughts and then stay a little longer. Breathe a little deeper. Tell your mind to quiet down. Lift up your spine, inhale. Let's take a little twist. So you can simply just face your left foot. You can stay on your hands. The hand can come to the arch of the foot and twist. Or you might even take the elbow to the arch of your foot. Hands can stay down for balance, or prayer can come to heart center. Try to take the thumbs to the center of your chest. Press your right hip down. Don't let it roll up to the ceiling. And then look up. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. Let it go. Come on back to center. Fingers forward. Slide your right knee in. Open it out and then sit your hips down for a seated spinal twist. Again, if it's tight, you can just straighten your right leg out to the floor, or you can keep it in, right? Maybe this time I'll keep it straight to show. Left hand behind you. Inhale, right arm up. And then exhale, reach it forward until the armpit connects to the thigh. Then take your twist. Either the hand can come down, and if you're here, it'll connect to the foot. Lengthen your low back. If you're here, it's like this. And then exhale, look left. Keep lengthening in your low back, lifting your chest, and then looking past your left shoulder. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale back to center, and exhale, counter twist. Double pigeon, ankle on top of your thigh. Prop yourself up with whatever you need to do so. And the modification is just to take your shin bone in front of the other shin bone, paralleling your shins as best as you can. Yeah? Preparing your blocks for your cow tilt. Inhale, arch your low back, and then exhale, hinge it forward. And again, you'll take it to wherever you want. If the back is rounding, do your best to find a little arching. That might mean some days you're completely up like this. That's okay. It's an interesting thing when a lot of people say that they have back pain, and I've been there. I've had lots of back pain, And when I got the MRI, the doctor said that my discs were posteriorly bulging. So they're going out in the back. And for the longest time, I was so afraid to back bend. I was so afraid. I thought that rounding my spine felt so good. The stretch felt so good. But it was actually counterproductive. It was making my symptoms worse, not during the stretch, but after a while. Because if we round our spine so much, and this is already most of our day, the discs just continue to press backwards. And while it alleviates pain in the stretch because it's opening it up and we're stretching it, when we press it back outwards more and we come back to like a back bend, we feel it pinching. So the moral of the story is to minimize the rounding of your spine. Find a little bit more extension, a little bit more arch, and practice your back bends with that in mind. Not necessarily to take butt to head, but functional back bending. Okay, I talked a lot. You're probably good in there. Come on back and step your right foot down to the floor. Fingertips behind you, puff up your chest. Windshield wiper your legs to start to warm up your left hip. We'll lie on down into our reclined pigeon pose. Hands interlacing around the front of your right shin. And you can just stay here trying to press both hip points back down to the floor. It's the same action of that cow tilt. Or the right elbow can go around the foot. Left elbow can go around the knee. Cradling your shin towards your chest and trying to press your hips back down. Right foot can even step down to the mat. If that's still comfortable for you, right elbow can hook the left ankle. Left hand goes behind the head, interlacing with your fingers and trying to lay yourself back. Flex your left foot. Breathe. Okay, release it. Hug your left knee into your chest. You might even straighten it up and down a few times. Get some lactic acid moving. Then pick up the right leg. Start to swing up and down, coming up to a nice tall seat. Janu Shri Shasana, seated tree. Left foot to the inside of your right thigh. My left arm will lift, inhale, and then nice side stretch up and over. If I can keep my hips grounded, I might start to take it deeper, flexing my right foot to find the toes. And if I can connect, then spinning my chest up towards the ceiling. Left bicep aiming to be behind the ear. Hip point grounding down. Press the left hip back down. Feel stretch in this left side waist. Rise it back up, and then face your right foot. Bend your right knee, hands around outside edges of the feet. Retract the shoulder blades, cow tilt the spine, and then exhale, hinge and fold down. So my knee can stay bent. I'm trying to lift my chest so that my chin maybe one day cups over the toes, and then I might fold myself down. Continuously trying to find length in your spine, tailbone back, hip back, chest forward. Lift back up nice and slow, inhale. Walk to the long edge side of your mat, finding your half frog. Sole of your right foot presses down to the mat, flexing my left ankle and finding 90 degrees in the knee and the ankle. I'm going to come down to my forearms. The further down you come forward onto your forearms, the less you'll feel this. You can even take a block underneath your hips and try to find a little ease. Make sure you're not just letting your right knee turn down and in, right? Keep trying to turn your femur so that the knee is up towards the ceiling. Keep trying to find the pinky toe of your right foot grounding down into the mat. That might mean you don't go that deep. All right, come on back, roll forward, integrate the inner thighs. Come on back, find a low lunge. Hands are going to go onto my blocks, and I'm going to find my half split. Backing up my hips and flexing my right foot. Lifting my chest and popping my hips back for cow tilt. Scissoring my inner thighs. Maybe one day the forearms will come down to the blocks, and I will find the ball of my foot. I'll connect it and pop the booty back more, lifting my chest. Maybe sliding it a little bit deeper. You can tell that I have two different sides. One side is indeed a little bit more, I guess you could say tight, but it's also a little bit stronger on that side. So it's both good and just different. All right, come on back. Let's just lie down this time. Come to lie down and step your feet in close. We are going to end practice today in our shoulder stand. If you know that that does not work for you, you will just skip this part, close your eyes, lay down. You can take legs up the wall into a passive inversion, right? Otherwise, feet down, lift your hips up, roll your shoulder heads underneath you. I'm really patting myself up on my shoulder heads so that my neck is not even touching the floor. I lower my hips back down. From there, I pick up my feet and I press into my fists to roll my feet back. If you have tight hamstrings, bend your knees and just stay here. Hands to your low back. Try to pad yourself up on your shoulder heads more. And then from there, lift your legs up towards the ceiling for your shoulder stand. Active legs, no sloppy feet. Connect the inner thighs, lengthen your tailbone, look up. Press the shoulder heads down into the mat to free your neck. Then bend your knees. Maybe they will connect to your third eye. Close your eyes. Maybe they'll connect outside of your ears. Maybe they'll fall to the floor behind you. You might even straighten your legs. Tuck your toes and press through the heels. Press your shoulder heads down. Hands down to the floor. Slowly, with control, roll yourself down vertebrae by vertebrae. Land your feet down and prop yourself up on the elbows. Make a triangle for the base of your sacrum. Lift your chest and open your throat, reversing the curve of your spine. And lower all the way down. Let's end today's practice in Supta Baddha Konasana. Take the soles of your feet together. Lift your tail, lengthen it down, lower it down. Then open your knees wide. You can take a block under each thigh if it's a little bit uncomfortable for you. Hands resting on your belly. Close your eyes. Open your mouth, exhale. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. Staying here for a while, allowing all the sensations to wash over you. For you to feel the difference from before you started practice and now. Hopefully you maybe feel a little bit lighter. I hope you guys enjoyed that practice, and you're more than welcome to stay here for a while longer, but this is where I'll end today. Until next time.